Buddy, do not force my hand into it. I was actually directing my statement to the terrorists. Because if you do, I will not hesitate to declare martial law. So when they started the siege, I said, and you asked me, all of you media, when will this end? I cannot really destroy the place because there it's the interest of our country. There are 2 million Filipinos, laborers and domestic helpers working there. Then if you do not use your coconut, that is something that will be out of control by that time. And so I had to explain, because I was holding the military. They were in near desperation because the losses were. I had to call everybody. Some kings, and I said, I cannot hold the military longer for 6 months. Maybe they will shoot me. And I said, I have to. Finally, I said, well, I gave to Secretary Lunasana. So just confer with your generals and you decide how to win the war. And so it did. But I told the Marawi guys, I will rebuild Marawi. And I'm looking for money. So you would have noticed the tax collection is good under Dulay. We have been able to force taxpayers, airlines who never paid anything. And during my term, I said, you have to pay or I will sell your planes. Make your choice. And the elite of this country who were holding government lands, making business out of it without even turning a single centavo to government who rightfully owns property. And at then I said, look, but maybe I'm toying the idea. I will sue you for plunder. Plunder is non-bailable. So you guys, you return the money now. Because if I file a case against you, when the case is filed in court, you cannot bail yourself out because it is non-bailable. All of you, I said, and I was addressing to the elite of this, 400 of society, they say, do not find refuge in my, you can kill me, you can impeach me, try your luck there, but there will be no compromises. I do not agree on these things. I do not compromise the interest of my country and people. You can be sure of that.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the media. That concludes our press conference, and the President will still proceed to his last bilateral with
I still have one last bilateral. Everybody participating there wants bilateral. We have this plenary, then bilateral. I could not even keep up with the heavy schedule. I have to wake up at 6. So I go home, I ask so many questions from the workers of government. And I get the feedback. When I'm satisfied that everything, the police is there. But, I said, we sleep 2, 3, and I wake up at 6, 7 because of the so many bilaterals. And I said, I have a shortage of sleep. Maybe I'm for 16 hours, 17 hours, something like that. But I will recover because tomorrow would be the last day and I'm flying out to my city by the sea. I feel it is my comfort zone. I see my grandsons and I embrace my youngest daughter and everything seems to be good. But when I land here, it seems to be that something is wrong with this society. Had I known that this is the kind of thing that you have to indulge in, maybe if I control the hands of time, it would have a different decision. But, you know, it was a question of law. It was not because there was already money available. At that point, nobody was giving me, and I was not receiving anything. I said, you know, you must know now how it developed. But I do not want to offend Grace Poe. But it was the reason why I decided that if that is the way how the Supreme Court rules on some important constitutional issues, it was in the interpretation that natural-born citizens means simply you are a citizen, a Filipino, at the time of your birth. When you go out of the womb of your mother, you must already be a Filipino. Naturalization, grant of whatever, is not naturally born Filipino. When the Supreme Court applied it, but I will honor it. There's no problem. It's a decision of the court. But at that time, if I go back in time, that precipitated a very serious issue in my mind. Always, if you become a citizen by a treaty that there will be no stateless persons, I like it. No problem about it. That there's a treaty which says that you cannot be a foundling or a person without a citizenship. And I agree with it. But, you know, it's an interpretation that if you are naturalized adoption, you are not a Filipino citizen, because it is when you get out of the physical side. But when she was declared, she was disqualified by the Commission on Elections, also justices. And upon appeal, they ruled that she is a Filipino. And I said, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Supreme Court, I do not agree with you. So I'm running. So I flew in. There was this birthday party of a fraternity brother of mine. I attended the party, and I announced my intention. And that is where I find myself now. And I've said that, do not destroy my country. Do not destroy the young in this country. We are not rich. I belong to the 98, maybe a few, 4, 5 million. I said, if it begins to be something like 1 billion, you can be sure, by the grace of God, I will step down. There's a waiver. There's no need for me to renew it. It does not say that this waiver expires on such a date. I just gave the authority for some guys to look into my bank account. And I told you that the money was this much. Now you want me to renew. Tawag yan, they must have been taking me as oto-oto. You know, this guy, oh, you do this, you do that, you're an errand boy. But you know, there are things which I cannot ask an errand to do something, and they're waiting for me. The last bilateral would be New Zealand. She's waiting. Jacinta Ardern. This is she's a lady. She's the Prime Minister of New Zealand. They're waiting for me because they also want a bilateral. So it's 10:30. Hopefully by 2 o'clock. But if this continues, I might as well decide to jump into the Pasig River and